Have you ever walked into a room and felt, I don't belong here? Nothing bad actually happened, but it's a thought and it's your body becoming hyper aware of of all the people around you, their tone, their faces, who's talking to who, whether you've been included. And suddenly you start to get quite scared. You start to overthink, you're becoming analytical, you start to go straight into your head with all that judgment and criticism instead of trying to actually blend in and belong from your heart. So that's your nervous system actually doing its job to protect you. So I'm going to quickly explain something around self-awareness. So what this piece is actually your Reticular Activating System. It's just RAS for short. And it's basically your brain's filtering system. So you're taking in millions of bits of information every second. And your brain has to decide in that split second whether it's relevant or it's not. So the way you perceive something is completely different to how someone else perceives something with a different lens. So that RAS filters reality based on what you believe is true. Does that make sense? So if your underlying belief is, I don't belong here, or I don't belong, what do you think your RAS is looking for every time you leave the house? So what you're actually looking for is the I don't belong evidence or the I don't belong pattern. So when someone, and you start, you'll notice your own pause before you speak. You're noticing in the room someone that's not smiling at you. You'll notice someone that might be turning around when you walk up to them, or a conversation that you weren't part of. Or maybe someone's tone felt off and you're like, oh, I'm so intuitive. I know when someone's off. Really? Or is it your brain just saying, see, I told you so. You don't belong. And the wild part is you can be in exactly the same room as someone else who has the belief that I belong here. I own this room. I belong here. I love this community. And they're seeing that event completely different to you. So they'll notice someone smiling or someone nodding or someone being inclusive or someone giving you an opportunity to speak. Remember, it's the same room, completely different filter, which leads to a completely different experience. So that is the self-awareness piece. So if you're constantly finding proof that you don't belong, it might not be the room, it might be the belief that's walked into the room ahead of you, which is really inside of you. So I'm not saying that bad things or invalidating things don't happen. Of course they do. But what I'm saying is that your nervous system, because it's wired for rejection, it will interpret neutral moments, or even positive moments as rejection. And then that'll make you either feel safe or not and give you more of that identity of I don't belong. And the way that shows up in you is avoidance or fear or people-pleasing, over-explaining. That's a good one. I used to do that. I used to over-explain all the time, apologize all the time, shrinking, trying harder, doing all the hard stuff, or even leaving early and telling yourself a story that, I just didn't like it. It was the wrong kind of vibe for me. I didn't like the people there. It's a story. It's all a story. So a tiny practice you could do today, it's the self-awareness piece, is catch the thought, I don't belong, when it hits you. The second you leave the house, the second you go into work or into an office or into an event or a conference. So the question is, what evidence am I collecting right now? First question. Second question, what else could be true? And the third one, which is my favorite, if I believed I belonged, what would I notice instead? Or how would I act differently? So this question really loosens the grip of that pattern, because you're no longer unconscious to your lens. You're no longer unconscious to your filter, and it's a choice and you're choosing. And this is exactly the kind of work that I do inside my group. We don't just think positive, we rewire that belief system. We create nervous system safety, and we really shift and become aware of those internal filters so that you can show up as you and not bracing, not in fear, not avoiding based on some old pattern that's been running since childhood. So if this makes sense to you, and if you're ready to shift the patterns or you've really seen yourself in some of this, I'd love to invite you into one of my groups, into one of my containers. All that's required from you is jumping on a really quick call with me to see if that's something that you would love to do, because what we do is we see what pattern has been running inside of you and what it's cost you and whether this kind of work is the right fit for you. It's a free call. I'll put the link below. I would love to see you there, and so we can explore this a little bit further, because once you know, you can't unknow.